You know that feeling, right? You tell a story that felt huge to you, full of emotion, and when you finish, you just get kind of blank stares. Well, today we're going to dive into this really powerful technique that'll transform your stories from something people just hear to something they actually feel. So let's get right into it because we've all been there. You're sharing something. Maybe it was super exciting or stressful or just hilarious, but you can see it in their eyes. The audience just isn't there with you. The story's not landing. So why does that happen? Okay, look at this. This is the whole idea in a nutshell. On the one hand, you could say, I was so nervous. And yeah, that's a fact. But look at the other side. My hands were shaking so much, I couldn't unlock my phone. Whoa, you can picture that, can't you? You can almost feel that anxiety. One tells you, the other shows you. And that brings us right to the heart of the issue, what the source material calls the adjective overload problem. See, we lean on these simple descriptive words all the time, but they're often the very thing that's making our stories fall flat. So here's the crucial insight. Words like nervous or boring or happy, they're just conclusions. They're labels. It's like you're giving your listener the final score of the game without showing them any of the highlights. Their brain doesn't get the raw data it needs to actually generate empathy and get invested in what you're saying. But the good news is there's a really simple, super powerful tool to fix this. It's called the action emotion filter. And honestly, it's a total game changer for anyone who needs to communicate effectively. And the definition is just brilliantly simple. The idea is, whenever you're about to use an adjective, a word to describe a feeling, you just stop. You delete that emotion word right out of your vocabulary. And then you replace it by describing a physical action that proves that feeling. And it really is that simple. Just 2 steps. That's it. This isn't some complicated formula you have to memorize. Step 1, you find that emotion word and you just get rid of it. Step 2, you describe what your body was actually doing in that moment. It's a filter you can start using right now. All right, enough theory, right? Let's actually see how this thing works with some fantastic examples. This is where you can really see the magic happen. Let's take the word stressed. We all say it, but it's kind of generic. Now, compare I was incredibly stressed with I was checking my watch every 30 seconds and tapping my pen until the cap flew off. See? Now that gives you a picture. We don't even need the word stressed. Those actions scream it for you. Here is another great one. Instead of just saying the forgettable phrase, I was exhausted, try this. I tried to put my car keys in the refrigerator. It's specific, it's a little funny, and it perfectly gets across a level of tiredness that the word exhausted just can't touch. And think about using other senses. He was mad, feels so weak, but he closed his laptop so hard it sounded like a gunshot. Wow. You can hear that. You feel the shock in the room. That single action tells a much more vivid story about his anger than any adjective ever could. I love this mental model for this whole concept. Think of it like a seesaw. If you just state an emotion, I am happy, it doesn't create any movement. The seesaw just stays flat on the ground. But when you describe an action, like jumping up and down and cheering, your listener can actually see the seesaw go up. They get to experience that emotion right there with you. Okay, one more analogy to really lock this in. Think of adjectives as just the labels on a jar. They tell you what's supposed to be inside: spicy, sweet, boring. But the actions, well, that's the actual food inside the jar. And let's be honest, people don't want just to read the labels. They want to taste the food. They want the substance of your story. Okay, so this all sounds great, but how do you actually get good at it? How do you build this into a skill? Let's walk through 3 really practical ways you can start practicing this today. And we're going to approach this like a game. We've got 3 different levels of difficulty for you: easy mode, medium mode, and of course, challenge mode. Let's start with easy mode. It's called the adjective swap. The next time someone asks you, hey, how are you? Your mission is to avoid those generic answers like good or busy. Instead, describe one single action. You could say something like, I'm great. I actually did a little victory dance after I cleared my inbox this morning. It's instantly more memorable and engaging. Ready to level up? Try medium mode, the people-watching exercise. This is a great little mental workout. Just observe a colleague or a friend, and instead of jumping to a conclusion like, she looks frustrated, just describe the physical evidence you see. She's leaning back in her chair with her arms crossed, staring at the ceiling. You're basically training your brain to spot the actions that reveal the emotion. And finally, for the ultimate test, we have challenge mode, the feeling-free recap. Tonight, try telling someone a quick 30-second story about your day. Here's the only rule. You are not allowed to use any emotion words. No happy, sad, stressed, none of them. You have to make them understand how you felt purely through the actions you describe. By practicing this, you're not just learning some clever little trick. You are developing a genuine storytelling superpower. It's something that will make you a way more compelling and memorable communicator in pretty much every part of your life. So let's just recap the big ideas real quick. The problem? Adjectives tell people what to think, but they don't create any real feeling. The solution? The action-emotion filter. The rule is simple and so powerful. Delete the emotion word and describe a physical action instead. And the result? You finally make your listener feel the story, not just hear it. This filter really does change everything. It's the difference between just reporting on an event and actually pulling someone into the experience with you. So as you go about your day, just think about this. What story will you transform first?